Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. Let's talk about internet computer, see what's happening with the price, and of course, what we could be expecting going into Thursday morning. Again, yesterday was a great day for the broader market, and we can see that overall momentum once again carrying over into Thursday. So, so far, this week has been quite bullish for the market. Looking across the board, a lot of coins up, but internet computer is seeing a little bit of a lag, as we can tell, which I will show you right now. So you can see, we're down about 1.7% on the USD side of things, down about 5.5% on the Bitcoin side of things. Price right now, $4.16. So price still maintaining itself above the $4 range. Again, I've pretty much highlighted to you guys the importance of the $4 price point. And as of now, the price has been holding above that key range. But we also kind of need to keep in mind the overall market momentum is starting to show some positive signs. Again, as far as the wave is concerned, this upwards trend Bitcoin wave, you guys know specific levels that I was talking about, and those levels did end up becoming a reality. And I was quite content on those targets, and we did reach the levels I was talking about. And since those levels have been reached, we've been seeing a little bit of an uptick. But let's take a closer look though and see what's happening with internet computer and why we're seeing a little bit of a lag, because I'm sure you guys probably want to know that. Before we do that, though, as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So, evaluation 2.26 billion and the 24-hour trading volume about 138.7 million. That's one thing I want you guys to focus on very closely. The 24-hour trading volume on internet computer is really low. I know, people compare to the price when it was, seeing those major upticks when it retested a significant resistance around the $10 price point. Again, those are levels we were projecting. So in terms of our targets, targets were met. But since then, when a project pumps up the way internet computer did, remember how I always say the project needs to find a ground for itself, or it's gonna pretty much round trip quite easily. But one thing I could say though is that market conditions were not the best. And obviously, with the market conditions, with Bitcoin retracing down to some of these key levels, that obviously did impact altcoins, and internet computer reacted to that. We could say that as well. But right now, we are clearly seeing a little bit of a lag against the market. And a big catalyst for me that is due to the fact that Bitcoin dominance has seen quite a sharp, uptick. And I've said this in my H bar update. If you did end up watching it, I understand some people only watch these specific updates. So in this example, some of you might only be watching the internet computer updates. So, we're kind of highlighting in every single update what's going on. So you could see where we were just a few hours ago, 58.48%. You could see, we've seen a major uptick since then. And believe it or not, this can have a huge impact on altcoins. And right now, I think this is a huge catalyst behind some altcoins seeing a retracement. If you look at it on an hourly time frame, you'll see that yourself. You're starting to see a few coins that are starting to be in red, and as well as on the daily time frame, you'll notice a little bit of red across the board. But the reason why you're not seeing the entire this bubble map in the red is because Bitcoin is looking good. Bitcoin hasn't really seen a retracement. Let me give it a refresh live. Bitcoin is actually sitting at $91,369, just below the target that I've been talking to you guys about at 0.50. And you can see for yourself, we're just below that key range, literally just below it. And maybe tomorrow morning, we could be above that. We're very close. But with that said, do expect maybe a little bit of a rejection. This is a key resistance. So we'll see. But again, Bitcoin has seen a bounce of about 6%, 6 to 7% over the last 24 hours. And that's something we kind of want to keep in mind. But as far as ICP is concerned, I want you guys to focus on the daily time frame first and foremost. See for yourself where we are. Obviously $4.17. But pretty much look at the support. Look at the support. Obviously, dating back to, we saw that support playing out back on April. We saw it playing out in September. This was a resistance at a point, and now it's playing as a support. But obviously, it dates back to, here as well, pretty much 2023, early 2023, and even 2022. The support kind of dates back to that. But you can see for yourself, that's exactly where we're being supported by right now. But I want you guys to focus on the hourly time frame right now to see, what has been happening over the last few hours. Remember, in the last update, I talked to you guys about how on the hourly time frame, you're starting to notice a little bit of an upward trend forming. We obviously came up to $4.48, but since then, we've seen a retracement of about, you could say, 8.6%. But look, we kind of got supported by the $4 price, $4.10 price point once again. So the price maintaining, within this pattern still, but you're seeing very low volume. But low volume always is not a bad thing, as I've stated to you guys before, especially if the project is holding stagnant. Where it becomes a problem is, let's say we're seeing decrease in volume, and you start to see the coin also start to show weakness. That's where things could start looking a little bearish. But right now, the price is still remaining within this $4 key range. We actually did see a few wicks up to the $4.32 range. You can see for yourself. But again, that is a resistance, as I'm highlighting for you guys. And we retested it, got a rejection at that key level. But we also want to kind of keep in mind, when you look at the volume, there's nothing there. There's absolutely nothing there right now. But price still maintaining itself within that level. As of now, I want you guys to kind of focus on the $4.31 key resistance. If this level is able to break out, I do personally believe this could kind of, push the price of internet computer up to $4.66 range. I would be confident, especially if the price is able to close above this key resistance, which is honestly unable to do so. And I can literally point out so many different, rejections. One, of course, was on the 21st of November. One was just on the 24th of November. We saw on 25th a few wicks above here, but never really managed to close above that key range. And just a few hours ago as well, we've seen that. So time and time out, you're having internet computer struggling to break at this $4.31 key range. But again, this kind of is giving us a little bit of a better understanding as how important this level is playing out pretty much over the last few days. So that's a level I want to kind of talk about. I want you guys to kind of keep this in mind. If this is able to break out, I do believe maybe we start pushing up to that other key range we've been talking about for quite some time on the channel. So that's how I'm currently analyzing internet computer. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys personally think. Where do you see the price of internet computer going? What's your overall trajectory, your time frame? And again, thank you so much for everyone that still tunes in. Again, the market sentiment is starting to, become a little bit better than obviously where it was before. But we got to still take it a step by step. There's still a long ways to go for the overall market. Thank you so much for all the love, and we'll see you later. It's been Crypto ZX and